If I could have your attention, please feel free to go ahead and continue eating your lunch, but we'll go ahead for time reasons and get started today. Please feel free to go back and grab some dessert if you haven't had any already. Make yourself at home. We just wanted to go ahead and get started and welcome all of you for coming today. This is a special day at Emmanuel University, and a lot of people here today that we are very happy to see back on campus, many that we haven't seen in decades. So thank you all for coming and making the journey, pilgrimage, journey, whatever you want to call it, back to a place that's special in all of our hearts. We appreciate you coming today and being a part of this. The afternoon will be full, and this program will be exciting for so many. So God bless you all, and thank you for being here today. I would like to say a very special thank you to my staff for helping to put this weekend together, Ms. Shantae and Harlan, and the work study students that have helped so much with getting all of the things ready for this weekend, for Jackie Brashear, who has helped with all the details of so many of the programs and menus and meals. And she is working currently, I think, in the back with the host of the concert that will be here tonight. For Dave Wolf and for the Chartwell staff who've done so well at feeding all of us all weekend. There's one thing about these weekends that you can't say. You cannot say that you left on Sunday and didn't have anything to eat all weekend, because we make sure and solve that problem. And I'd also like to say a very special thank you to the grounds department and the housekeeping department that have done such a wonderful job of getting the campus looking so beautiful and for making it so pleasing for all of us. And for Student Life, Kurt McConnell and his staff in Student Life for helping with so many things there, and the admissions staff with Matthew Edmonds and Kirsten Starling and their staff. It takes a lot of people to put a program and a weekend like this on, and we're very grateful for the staff of Emmanuel University and all they do to make this a possibility. Would you give them all a round of applause? There's a few other special guests in the room today, and I always am a little hesitant to do this because you hate to ever miss anybody. But I would like to recognize previous presidents and their wives that are here, Mike and Pam Stewart and Ron and Carol White. Would you please stand? It's always an honor to have you in the room with us. Thank you for coming. And we also, for today, a very special, we have two past chairmen of the board that I'm aware of. Miss Linda Thomas, her husband Joe, would you please stand? And as of yesterday, past President David Robertson and his wife Mary, would you please stand? We appreciate your service as well. And the current, as of yesterday, new chairman of the Board of Trustees, Mr. Preston Mathena, and his wife Kathy. Would you please stand? A few other people that are here today. We have some past board members that are here. Bob Robertson, his wife Phoebe. Would you please stand? And the current board of trustees that are here with us today. If you're a current board member and your spouse, please stand. We'd like to recognize you as well. I know you're kind of spread out in different places. Thank you all for coming. And for Miss Charlene Hamlet, who is a new board member as of yesterday, I was happy to have you on board. Thank you for coming as well. So, did I miss anybody? Please tell me if I did. We're good? Okay, we're good. I'd also like to mention Coach Turlington. His wife Marianne's here, right here. Coach, let me stand. Thank you for coming. Appreciate you making the effort to come today. And are there any other retired coaches in the room? Mike Bono's not retired yet. Don't say anything about it. I'm just kidding, Mike. I'm just kidding. Any other retired coaches? No. I want to tell you all, before you leave today, in the Marshburn room, which is directly across the hall right here, Coach Turlington has brought some of his artwork. He's an incredible artist, if you didn't know that. He's brought some of his artwork. It's set up of people of Emmanuel that he's drawn portraits of. So very much, I asked him were they for sale. He said no. I know everybody has his price. You probably could buy something if you wanted, but he has some he has some artwork that's very much worth your time to see. I noticed Ben, yep, and Jose, where are you? Y'all stand. These are past coaches and past athletic directors. Thank you for being here today. And I really hope I haven't missed anybody else. If I have, please forgive me. But we're excited about this day. I want to introduce somebody to you that I've known a long time. He's just a stellar person. He is the new president of the Alumni Association. He was a Hall of Fame baseball player at Emmanuel University, and he lives in the community. He is a regional vice president for Pinnacle Bank and a wonderful friend of Emmanuel and mine personally, Mr. John Hilton. Would you recognize him as he comes to the stage?
Well, when I was here, I didn't have this, and I didn't have this. So it is truly a blessing to be here in this place with you today. And so I want to thank you for being here. And I do have my notes on this. I didn't have my notes on paper. Isn't that amazing? So I'm so excited to welcome you back to Emmanuel University. Many of us met our spouses here, lifelong friends, and started a journey that would lead us to places all over the world. And so it's exciting to be back. However, Emmanuel wasn't just a place where we came to further our education. It was truly a place where many of us started a lifelong journey with Christ. And it was truly a place where we met God together. And I'm so thankful for that in my life and in many of your lives as well, and what that established and the foundation that established for this university. I want to thank you for your continued support of this university. Because of your support, they can continue that legacy that we enjoyed when we were here. The same Holy Spirit that was moving when we were here on campus is doing amazing things here today. In this very building, since August, there have been more than 60 salvations in this very room we're in. Yes. You see, God has amazing plans for this university. He's got amazing plans for the kids that are here today. And it takes us helping them to establish those plans and to help further the mission here at Emmanuel University. And so I want to thank you for that, because without your support, without all of our support, without the prayers, it wouldn't take place. And so thank you very much for that. At this point, I want to recognize the various alumni classes. And as I call out your class, if you'll stand up and be recognized. And then also after the program, they're going to be taking class pictures over here to the left of the stage, to your right over here. And so after the program, if you'll gather over there so they can get a class picture. And so first recognition is the Golden Grad classes, and that is through the newly inducted 1975 class. So if you will please stand and be recognized. Class of 1980, if you will please stand and be recognized. That's a pretty infamous class right there. Chairman and the president, wow. Class of 1985. Whoa, there we go. Class of 1990. Nobody from 1990. Class of 1995. Anybody? There we go. We're getting close to mine now. Class of 2000. Anybody from class of 2000? All right, class of 2005. Awesome. Class of 2010. Very good. Class of 2015. There we go. There's some representation right there. And class of 2020. All right. Very good. Well, also, it is my pleasure to introduce a guest, or it's not a guest, somebody everybody knows, our current president of Emmanuel University. And before he comes up, I just want to say a couple things about him. So I don't get this opportunity to talk about President Hearn, but we are so blessed, y'all, to have this man leading this university. Absolutely. At the board meeting yesterday, we saw a picture of them baptizing students. And our very own President Hearn was right there baptizing those students. You can't say that for many universities in this country. And so, again, I want to thank that for doing that. But this man has a heart, a passion, a vision, and a love for God that is unmatched. And we are truly honored and blessed to have him leading this university. I'm a member of a local church that is starting a campus here. And it is because of President Hearn and what he wanted to see take place on this campus and see kids come to Jesus Christ that we were able to start and enjoy this beautiful setting and bring kids and community into this place so they can meet Jesus. And I'm so thankful for that, and his heart, his vision, his passion. And it is something we truly are blessed with. And at this time, I want to introduce President Greg Hearn.
Well, good afternoon, and I would like to add my thanks to everyone who has come back to celebrate with us. As I walk around, when you meet with alumni from earlier years, they'll go, I love Emmanuel College, I mean university. So I want to clear this up for you. We don't care whether you call us Emmanuel College or Emmanuel University, as long as you call us something. And I've developed a way to get around that a little bit. Sometimes I just say Emmanuel when I'm talking to a group that some of them are from our days as a university and some were before. So we're all together graduates of Emmanuel. And whatever you put after that, the God with us is the important part anyway, not whether it was a college or a university. So thank you for being here. And thanks, Sean, for the kind remarks. He wasn't supposed to do that. That wasn't on the program. So we'll talk about it later. But I am thankful that, and the words he spoke, by the way, about your support, I don't have to go through that because your support is important to what we do here. We need your prayers, most of all, that there would be continued revival on our campus, and that as our young people come, when they step on campus, they would feel the power of the Holy Spirit and know this is a special place. Not because of what we do here, but because of what God does here. And we've seen so many students that come here. For some students, this is the safest place they've ever been. They come from homes that they can't even go back to. They come from lives that are in shambles, and they come here and find friends and find God, and that's what we're about. And that's why we even modified the mission a little bit. And we start with, our mission is to develop Christ followers. And so we just appreciate your support and your prayers as we continue to do that. Well, one of the things we've changed in the last couple of years, we've always had the Feast of Ingathering in the past, and that was when we were Emmanuel College. And then we called it Vision for Education, and it was still on Friday. But a few years ago, we adjusted our class schedule, and we don't have class on Friday. We did that for several reasons. It's a little bit more efficient schedule, but also with as many athletic teams as we have, it facilitated them traveling on the weekends without missing class. So now we don't have as many students on campus, so that created a problem for Vision for Education with no students here. So we combined it with this luncheon, and I think it's worked well because it does bring alumni together to see what the women's ministries of the IPHC are doing for Emmanuel, and to give that recognition and a chance for us all to be together. So at this time, I'm going to recognize Ms. Whitney Davis, who's coming. She is the Director of Women's Ministries for the International Pentecostal Holiness Church, so please welcome her.
Thank you, President Hearn. Good afternoon. It is a joy to stand before you today, whether it's on Friday or Saturday. We're happy to be here whenever. We just want to celebrate all that God is doing through Emmanuel University. It's a place where hearts are shaped, minds are being sharpened, and the next generation of Christian leaders are being prepared to impact ministry and the marketplace. So we have so much to celebrate. For decades, Women's Ministries has proudly partnered with our institutions, including Emmanuel, through Vision for Education, and the partnership continues to bear fruit. Year after year, we've seen students rise up, men and women who love Jesus deeply and who serve him in every sphere of their life. So to the faculty and to the staff of Emmanuel, thank you for keeping Christ at the center of all that you do. You remind us that education is more than information, it's formation, and it's shaping the hearts to love God and to serve others. Galatians 6:9 reminds us, let us not grow weary in doing good, for in due season we will reap if we do not give up. So we don't quit. We continue to sow into the good ground of Emmanuel, believing that the harvest from this school will reach generations to come. So let's keep building, let's keep giving, keep praying, keep believing for the glory of God and the advancement of his kingdom through Emmanuel University. This year, Women's Ministries has raised $41,000 for our Vision for Education offering, and every dollar represents an investment not just in education, but in eternal impact. And we are just so grateful to celebrate with you today. Thank you.
Thank you so much for that offering. And we made a decision a couple of years ago, too, that we would take this offering raised by the women and ladies of our church, and we put it in our scholarship fund. So it goes back to students, and it enables us to give academic scholarships, but also need-based scholarships to students that wouldn't otherwise be able to afford to have their education occur in a Christian environment. And so we're so thankful for your support, and we are thankful that we can direct this to students and give them an opportunity to come find God here. So thank you so much. And obviously that means you, when we get to the other side and we meet these students that have been reached, you will be a part of that, and you will get your reward there as well. But thank you so much. It's really a blessing to Emmanuel, what you do. So thank you. Let's give them a hand again. Well, in addition to celebrating Vision for Education, each year this luncheon gives us a chance to recognize other people that have gone above and beyond in fulfilling the mission of Emmanuel. Today, we're recognizing the achievements of former Emmanuel athletes by inducting them into the Emmanuel University Athletic Hall of Fame. We also have a special resolution of appreciation that we will present, and we will be honoring our distinguished alumnus of the year. And so we'll start with the Hall of Fame presentation. So to begin our ceremony, please welcome Emmanuel University Vice President for Athletics, Nate Mormon.
Good afternoon. Before we get started today, there are a couple groups that I'd like to ask to briefly stand and be recognized. And we did this for some coaches a second ago, but any past or current coaches, athletes, or athletic staff members, if you will stand and be recognized. That includes our president as well, who's a former tennis player. Played for the legendary Mike Bono. Any current Hall of Fame members, if you too will stand and be recognized. And last, and certainly not least, I'm really excited about this one. Any family members of the players or coaches being inducted today, if you too will stand and be recognized. That includes all the little ones in the back corner there too. So, who qualifies for the Hall of Fame? To qualify as a Hall of Fame member, our candidates must meet one or more of three criteria. Outstanding athletic performance. These are individuals or teams that have set historical milestones in Emmanuel University athletics or have had notable record-breaking athletic performances. Second, support and advancement of Emmanuel's athletic programs. These are individuals who have displayed a lifetime of support, advancing and enhancing Emmanuel University athletics. And lastly is legacy talent. This includes announcers, coaches, donors, managers, administrators, individuals who have given time and energy over the course of their lifetime to enhance the athletic department programs, or former student athletes who have gone on from Emmanuel to achieve monumental life achievements impacting the world around us. Emmanuel proudly offers 35 intercollegiate programs, reflecting our continued growth and commitment to excellence. During 2024-25 academic year, our student athletes and coaches achieved remarkable success, earning hundreds of academic honors, 7 All-American titles, 4 Coach of the Year awards, 3 conference championships, 3 national championships, and 7 Player of the Year recognitions. We've had numerous teams and athletes win and compete for national championships. Athletes have competed on the world stage, including the Olympics in 2016 and 2020. We deeply appreciate the dedication and lasting impact of our athletes, both past and present, and we take pride in carrying forward the culture of success, much of which was established by our Hall of Fame inductees. Today, we add 2 teams and 1 individual inductee to the permanent display of Emmanuel's Athletic Hall of Fame. This effort was started in 2012 by the members of the National Alumni Association and was spearheaded by Bet and Sherm Smith. Today, this ceremony is being celebrated to acknowledge and honor Emmanuel's finest athletes and greatest athletic supporters. Pictures of the inductees will be put in the hallway of the Shaw Athletic Center. So now I'll turn it over to President Hearn to announce today's inductees.
Thank you, Nate, and I would like to express appreciation to Nate Mormon in the way he leads our athletic department, not only in athletics, but he leads our athletic department in discipling our athletes for Christ, and we certainly honor that and appreciate that, so thank you, Nate. Our first inductee today is Mr. Phil Ricks. Phil, if you would join me on stage.
Phil came to Emmanuel from Memphis, Tennessee in the fall of 1971 as a member of the basketball team. He was a dynamic point guard for the Lions, playing one season with his brother James and earning the starting spot his sophomore year. In his sophomore year, Phil was named the co-MVP of the team. His biggest accomplishment, however, came off the court, as he became the first African-American student athlete to graduate from Emmanuel in 1973. Following his time at Emmanuel, Phil served as a successful high school basketball coach at Millington Central High School. Upon his retirement from coaching, the school's gymnasium was named in honor of him, the Phil C. Ricks Gymnasium. Congratulations to Phil Ricks on getting inducted into the Emmanuel University Hall of Fame.
It's certainly a pleasure to celebrate Phil's success, not only here at Emmanuel, but after he left Emmanuel, he continued to represent Emmanuel well, and we love to see that. And so, Phil Ricks, you have made Emmanuel University proud, and today we acknowledge your accomplishments and honor you by officially inducting you into the Emmanuel University Athletic Hall of Fame. Congratulations.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. First of all, I'd like to thank God for blessing me each and every day. I'd like to thank my parents, Jim and Geraldine Ricks, for always pushing me to do the things that are best and to never give up. I'd like to thank my high school coach, Mr. Sam Montgomery, who taught me the fundamentals of the basketball game and instilled the complete spirit that I carried throughout my career. I would like to thank my brother James, whose ball handling and leadership skills I tried to emulate as much as possible. He's the second best point guard in our family. I'd also like to thank Coach Turlington for the scholarship to Emmanuel. I had a couple of baseball offers, actually, and I chose Emmanuel College, and I'm glad I did. Also, Coach Gainey, who followed Coach Turlington, I also want to thank, and he probably looked at me and saw a little 5'4" point guard and shook his head. But thankfully, we were able to do a good job, and I thank him also. He would kid me about my size all the time, but I got the job done. Also like to thank my college professors, Dr. Hopkins, Reverend Swales, Dr. Hartsfield, Miss Tew. Dr. Hartsfield actually played on the basketball. We had an intramural softball team, and Dr. Hartsfield actually was one of the bad boys. And finally, I'd like to thank the faculty, staff, student body here at Emmanuel College, or university now. I never felt out of place or threatened when I was here. And thank you, Emmanuel College, for this opportunity. Thank my family, my friends, Mike Bonham, my roommate, kept me up a lot at night because I wasn't passing the ball. But anyway, that's another story for another day. Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
And I'll go ahead and mention, for all of our inductees today, after the luncheon is over, please stay around because we want to get some pictures in addition to the ones that are taken here. We want to get some more formal photos for our records and for the Hall of Fame, so please stick around. Our next inductee today is the 2013 men's basketball team. So that team will please join us up front here.
The 2013-14 Emmanuel men's basketball team finished the season 33-4 overall, 17-0 at home, and 16-2 in conference action. The Lions went on to the NAIA National Tournament in Kansas City, Missouri, where they defeated the 16th-ranked Cumberlands, the first-ranked Cal State San Marcos, and the 19th-ranked Mid-America Nazarene on their way to a national championship game appearance. In the championship game, the Lions fell to Vanguard 70-65. Michael Stanley led the Lions, averaging 16.9 points, 5.4 rebounds, and 3 assists per game. The Lions finished the season ranked nationally in multiple statistical categories, including number 1 in three-point percentage defense at 28%, number 2 in field goal percentage defense at 39%, and number 3 in total rebound margin at 9.7 per game. Congratulations to the men's basketball team of 2013-2014 on their induction into the Emmanuel University Hall of Fame.
Well, as I look down the line, I can tell why they were so successful. In addition to having a great coach, I think I would look up to everyone I walk down there to talk to. So as they're awarding them their medals, I'll wait till that finishes, and then we'll officially induct them into the Hall of Fame. While I'm doing that, I do want to acknowledge Coach T.J. Rosine, who's still our current basketball coach, does a great job, not just on the basketball court, but he invests into the lives of his players. He is truly a disciple maker He disciples his team, and we are deeply indebted to him for the impact he has on our campus. So thank you, Coach Rizzo. 2013 men's basketball team, you have made Emmanuel University proud. And today we acknowledge your accomplishments and honor you by officially inducting you into the Emmanuel University Athletic Hall of Fame. Congratulations.
Just super proud of this team. That's an emotional day when you get to see everybody come back. My dad was a lifelong high school coach, and he passed about 6 or 7 years ago. And at the end of his life, he started going to Hispanic church. So my mom was going in the morning, he was going a little bit later in the Hispanic church, and no one in the family could figure out why, because he didn't speak Spanish. He didn't have, But finally, somebody's like, "Why do you keep doing this?" And he said, "I just love seeing the families." And this moment right here has kind of clicked for me. And he loved seeing all these kids come to church, and it was loud and it was wild. And I went with him a couple times, and I thought, how can anybody pay attention in this setting? And then I look back and I look at these guys and how many little kids. There's many of them that have 4 and 3 and 2, and I'm watching them and I get it. Like, it's super joyful to be able to see these men become fathers and to become leaders. And I don't know that it could have ever clicked for me like it just did in this moment, just seeing all of these kids come around and seeing these men become who they are. I want to say a special thanks. Like, we've had some amazing leaders here at Emmanuel, from our athletic directors, Mike Bonta, Jose Larios, Nate Moorman, and some amazing presidents as well. Mike Stewart, Ron White, and Greg Hearn. All great men of just faith that care about leading young people to the Lord. And so I appreciate everybody's leadership in that. And I just want to say, a final thing about this team, just one quick story. I really don't like talking in front of people, but I could stay up here for hours and tell you about these guys right here, and I won't do that. We're going to do that at my house a little later here. We're going to sit down and we're going to talk and we're going to tell those stories. But I would share one. I think Mike got a call or an email, and shortly thereafter I got a call or an email from the Kansas City Police Department, and I was pretty sure I knew which guy it was, but no, I'm just kidding. You get a little nervous, though, when you get a call from the chief of police in Kansas City. We had just been out there, and we've been there for 8 days out at the national tournament. You go, and there's 32 teams, and one by one they leave. And then you get down to the last day, and there's 2 teams left. And the chief of police went out of his way to call, and he said, I want you to know that I have many officers in our department here that feel inspired by your team. And I said, I have no idea what you're talking about. He said, we have undercover agents that go through, specifically in this area, throughout this downtown and through this grocery store that was there. He said, on multiple occasions, I think it was 7 or 8 different officers said, where's this Emmanuel team from? And he said that they had been growing really frustrated with what was going on in the inner city and what was happening down there. And they kept seeing young men with Emmanuel shirts on. And he gave me story after story how they helped this old lady at the grocery store and how they helped this young man. And the stories go on and on to Nate, too, who brought a homeless person from Kansas City, which I didn't know this at the time, but he brought him up there, gave him a shower, gave him food. The team all pitched in and helped him out. Did things that were just beyond what normal 18, 19, 20, 21-year-olds think about. And that's who this group of men was. And I'm particularly thankful, yeah, for sure. And I'm particularly thankful for what Emmanuel offers to these young people. I'm thankful that we don't have to be perfect to come to Emmanuel, because this was not a perfect group of young men. But they left here knowing about the Lord. They left here better men, and had we not had that opportunity, if the people would have not have supported Emmanuel, if people would have not have created an environment where we could actually live out what Christ asked us to do, many of these men would not be in the situation they're in now. And so they have always been in my Hall of Fame. I am super excited they're now in Emmanuel's Hall of Fame. And what gives me the most excitement is to know that we will all be in the biggest and greatest Hall of Fame of all together at the end of it. And Emmanuel provided that opportunity for him. So guys, I love you. I'm super proud of you. We have an amazing coaching staff. We have amazing players. And what you've done in life pales in comparison to what you did as an amazing basketball team. And I pray that God just continues to bless you and continues to live out all these things that I get to see and witness now. What you're doing is way bigger than anything that you ever did on the court. And I love you for that, and I love our time, and I'm super thankful. So this was a special team, and I'm really grateful for them.
And again, I'll remind this team too, so that before they get too caught up here, that we're going to move the photo session after the luncheon to the lobby. So please stick around and meet in the lobby. The lighting, I've been told, is better there. So, but again, congratulations to the 2013-14 men's basketball team. Our final inductee today is the 2013 men's cross country team. Would you please come forward?
The 2013 men's cross country team defied the odds by placing third out of 32 teams at the NAIA National Championship, edging out several top-ranked teams. Although the Lions had won 3 SSAC championships, they were not considered favorites to place. In fact, they entered the championship ranked number 16. On that 22-degree morning at the University of Kansas's historic Rimrock Farm, the Lions made history. Leo Ayala led the pack with an 18th place individual finish in the 8K with a time of 25 minutes, with Jonah Holbert finishing 27. The Lions placed 5 runners in the top 60. Head coach Ben Hall had the Lions sharp, hungry, and fit. Most importantly, this team ran for the glory of Jesus. They competed freely, knowing who they belonged to and who they were competing for. Congratulations to the 2013 men's cross country team.
I did kind of expect them to run to the stage, but they didn't. Well, to the 2013 men's cross-country team, you have made Emmanuel University proud, and today we acknowledge your accomplishments and honor you by officially inducting you into the Emmanuel University Athletic Hall of Fame. Congratulations. And just as an aside, Coach Ben Hall is back. He's no longer our coach. He's serving the Lord in other places. But I will just give you a piece of trivia. He was on the Franklin Springs Fire Department when he was here, so he's multi-talented.
All right, I wrote a few remarks. It's a pleasure to be back here, and wonderful to see familiar faces and be in this place where spiritually lives are changed, and that this room, this stage is used for the glory of God. And so it's a privilege to be with these guys and to see them grow, and I hope that you're able to reflect fondly on your years here, because I know that Emmanuel's been a blessing to me. I don't know if you guys remember, I found this in a box somewhere at home. This little black book had the workouts that we did that year. And so I'd pull this out and flip through it and have the group set up and what we were going to do. But that book wasn't what made this team special. The work that they put in, and they put in work that year, hundreds of miles that you guys ran, and incredible workouts. At the race, you guys showed up, and I think until nationals, we lost maybe one race that year. But it wasn't because of the work. That's part of it. Everybody in the country worked, though. And for the basketball team, same thing. It's these guys that made it special. It's the mission that they bought into, that they said, there's something here. A mission that said, we're going to take the gifts that God has given us, and we're going to try to reflect it back to Him. That was what this team was founded on, founded by Coach Larios right here. He recruited most of this squad, spent months before Emmanuel had a cross-country program, and brought these guys in, and it was built on something that was sure, a foundation that mattered. And so I'm so proud of these guys, and it's just been a privilege to be a part of that. So it's great to be back, and great to see the growth in you guys, the mission that you were a part of. Because I can remember sitting in the hotel room the night before the race, and DeAndre, I think you said, I don't run very good in the cold. But he did that next day. Like that day he did. And every single one of them just shared why they loved the person sitting next to him, the person sitting across from him. And that's what made this team special, that you guys were bought into something. They made a difference, and it's for God's glory. And as I was driving down here, I just thought, it's kind of, this team is made up of individuals that were excellent. Individually, you guys all were excellent athletes. But similar to the church, hopefully it's the global church is made up of individuals who have been saved by grace and love Jesus. But corporately, we can change the world by God's grace. And I think that's what this group, individually, it was comprised of amazing guys, but you were better as a team. And I hope that the greater Emmanuel University alumni and friends and the church as a whole can live that out and share God's love as a group better than we can individually, because we're meant to live in community like that. So you guys continue to have that community, continue to have that heart. That's our prayer for you guys, and it was a pleasure to be a part of your journey a little bit. So thank you, guys.
Yeah, I've got to correct something. Not only was Ben Hall a member of the Franklin Springs Fire Department, Jose Larios was a member as well, the athletic director. So we have a lot of Emmanuel people that participate in serving the community through other ways. So thankful for that too. The next thing we want to do is we want to honor. You've already been told today that we had a transition in chairmanship of our board of trustees. And so this last meeting was David Robertson's final meeting as chairman. Now, he's still on the board, and he's on the finance committee, and he's going to continue to serve Emmanuel in those ways. But he's been the board chairman for the past 9 years, so I'm going to ask him to come forward. Normally, a board chairman serves for a maximum of 8 years, but at the end of Mr. Robertson's 8 years of service was about when we were doing some transition in the office of president, and so I asked him if he'd be willing to continue serving. I didn't think it would be good to transition chairman and presidents together at the same time, and he graciously agreed to serve. He said he would start another term, but when it was the right time, he asked that we transition. So the board voted to suspend the bylaws so that he could serve again, and he was elected to another term, and he's been serving. And so this past meeting, we did make the transition to Mr. Preston Mathena. He's taking over. But Mr. Robertson led us through COVID. He led us through some bond settlements that were very significant. And he's led us through a transition in president. And he's had to put up with me and help me learn how to be a president. So he's had, extra duty. So we want to recognize him today. So the board did adopt a resolution that I want to read to you in honor of David Robertson. Whereas David Robertson has faithfully and effectively served as chairman of the Board of Trustees of Emmanuel University for 9 years, providing steadfast leadership, wise counsel, and a deep commitment to the mission and vision of the university. And whereas during his tenure, Mr. Robertson has guided the board with integrity, humility, and discernment, fostering unity, encouraging innovation, and ensuring the highest standards of governance. And whereas under his leadership, Emmanuel University has experienced significant growth in academic excellence, spiritual formation, campus development, and financial stewardship, all reflecting his dedication to Christ-centered education. And whereas Mr. Robertson's exemplary service has strengthened the university's foundation for future generations of students, faculty, and staff, leaving a lasting legacy of faith, vision, and excellence. Now therefore be it resolved that the Board of Trustees of Emmanuel University hereby expresses its heartfelt appreciation to David Robertson for his 9 years of outstanding leadership as chairman, his unwavering devotion to the university's mission, and his enduring impact on Emmanuel University community. And be it further resolved that this resolution be entered into the official records of Emmanuel University, and that a copy be presented to Mr. Robertson as a token of the board's gratitude and esteem. Adopted this 24th day of October 2025 by the Board of Trustees of Emmanuel University. Thank you.
Thank you, Jeff. Thank you so much. The Lord has really blessed me to give me an opportunity to serve as chairman of this ministry. Emmanuel University is a ministry, as you've heard from many of the testimonies here. I think this school, as far as in our denomination, has been the biggest influence in God's kingdom out of our denomination. So it's been a privilege. It's been very humbling, and I'd like to thank some of the previous presidents here, as well as Greg, Dr. Stewart, who got me on the board originally, and then President Ron White, Dr. Ron White, who led us through prayer and sacrifice, and of course, President Hearn is doing an amazing job leading us back to our core mission of winning the lost to Christ, and those who are already Christians, when they get here, to grow in their faith. And that's the central to our mission. It makes me privileged to have been able to serve with our fellow board members. We've had tremendous board members, tremendous support. And I just thank the Lord for what he's doing here and what he's going to continue to do in the future under President Mathena, or Chairman Mathena. We're not trying to get rid of him. We don't want to do that.
Could be prophetic.
No, that's not prophetic. So thank y'all so much. Appreciate it. It's been a privilege.
We're now moving on to our final award, the Distinguished Alumnus of the Year Award. The Distinguished Alumnus of the Year Award is given each year to acknowledge the extraordinary efforts of an outstanding alumnus who has excelled in his or her professional field by exemplifying outstanding accomplishments and achieving remarkable professional advancements. Additionally, the recipient shows integrity, determination, leadership, and displays Christian character to those around them each day. These recipients display qualities and serve as role models that exemplify Emmanuel's mission. This year, I'm honored to present the Distinguished Alumni of the Year Award to Joseph T. Leggett. Joey, would you please join me on stage? Joseph T. Leggett is CEO and Superintendent of Falcons Children's Home and Family Services. Since 2007, he has led the development of multiple programs, including transitional living, mothers and babies, health care, counseling services, and a private Christian school. Prior to his role at Falcon, he worked in nursing home administration, social work, and probation. He and his wife Sharon have 3 sons, Cameron, Trevor, and Drew. Tim Moore, a classmate of Joey's at Emmanuel and a longtime friend and colleague, notes Leggett's vision and awareness of societal changes as his key strengths. Tim states, Joey has a real ability to read society, to see what is going on in the world, and to ask how this ministry can meet those needs. As an example, we would never have considered Turbeville or Magnolia Hope, a program to rescue young people from trafficking, but Joey reads what the world needs and how God is calling us to respond with love. In addition to his commitment to Falcon Children's Home, Joey Leggett is committed to the ministry of Emmanuel University. He recently arranged for the donation by the Falcon Children's Home Board of Directors of $250,000 of Emmanuel's debt back to the university. We are deeply grateful for this incredible contribution. Thank you, Joey, for your kindness to us. Emmanuel University is pleased to recognize Joseph T. Leggett for his years of service and dedication to Emmanuel University and to Christian higher education. Please join me in congratulating Joey, the 2025 Distinguished Alumnus of the Year.
To say I'm humbled is an understatement. There are 2 institutions whom I love dearly. One is, of course, Falcon Children's Home, and the other is Emmanuel College. Brian James, I'm going to get you. He wanted to know if I was coming to Alumni Weekend this year. And he kept calling me, and I said, Brian, I don't think I can make it. I've got to be in Morehead City Sunday to speak at 2 services. He said, if you come, I'll get you out by lunchtime so you make it back to Morehead City. And finally, he had to let me know, President, that there was something special going on. I am truly humbled by this award. There are so many more people more deserving of this award than me. But I love Emmanuel College, and it means the world to me. Let me give a disclaimer up front. My voice is a little bit risky and cracky at times. I just had throat cancer. I'm cancer-free today. But the radiation left some scar tissue on my throat, so that's why it gets a little cracky. Now, my wife says it sounds sexy, so I think I'm going to keep it. She'll get me later, I promise you. But I want to say a big thank you to President Hearn, to the Emmanuel College Board of Trustees, and to the alumni who are here, and to the staff. This is one of the best days of my life. I came to Emmanuel College in 1982, a skinny 130-pound, dripping wet boy, with no idea of what I was going to do in the future. I played my first basketball game on the campus against Mike Bonner, and I realized I couldn't play basketball at all. But I always had this sense there was a calling on my life. I wasn't sure what it was. My father's a preacher, and so I said, am I called to be a preacher? In fact, I played on the first School of Christian Ministries basketball team they had here. Jimmy Cofelt was the coach. And he came up to me, he said, Joey, isn't your father a preacher? And I said, yes, sir. He said, don't you feel like you're called to preach? I said, no, sir. He said, we need you for the basketball team. I said, I feel the calling coming on. But after a semester, I realized that wasn't where I felt like I needed to be. But I realized that through the faculty and the staff and the atmosphere and the spirituality that roamed this campus, that there was a calling on my life. And if I obeyed God and listened to God's calling, I would find that calling in due time. And one day I was sitting in a class with Teresa Sorrell's sociology class. And she began to talk about social work and how we could help people in need. And I thought to myself, that's me. I'm not a preacher, but I have this heart for those who are going through difficult times in their life. This is what I see myself doing. And I went back to Psychology 101 with Dr. Kirk Hartsfield. I wanted to be like him. Wow, he was a powerful teacher. But I knew that was the direction I wanted to go. I just wanted to help people. And I can remember when I began working in nursing homes. I worked with George Wilson, a big supporter of Falcon Children's Home. I worked with the county. I worked with probation parole. In all these situations, I was helping. But there was still something missing, President Hearn. And one day, someone came to me and said, they're mentioning you as a candidate for Falcon Children's Home. Would you consider it? And that's when I began to realize that perhaps my whole life, from my time coming here as a student to my time leaving here and graduating and through my career path, God was leading me to a place that to me reminds me of Franklin Springs. In fact, when I first got here, I'd not been out of Falcon a whole lot. And I said, I love Franklin Springs. It reminds me of Falcon on steroids, is what it reminds me of. It was a little bit bigger and a little bit better. More girls too, wife, but I didn't pay attention to that. But when I began to think about it, I realized that perhaps God was calling me to this ministry. And any kind of honor or award I get today is really not about me. It's about Falcon Children's Home. A ministry that's been there since 1909. Over 20,000 students have been served by that ministry. And today I interviewed with that board. I still wasn't sure I was going to take the position. At that time, I was running a nursing home, getting ready to be a regional manager. We had just built a house. My wife didn't want me to go to Falcon. My father didn't want me to go to Falcon. But there was something inside of me that kept turning. And I remember in that board meeting, I began to talk about what I thought Falcon should be doing. And in the back of that boardroom was a Falcon alumnus by the name of Harold Queen. And I saw a tear come down the side of his face. And I knew here's Harold Queen, who served on this board, a mentor of mine, successful businessman, who grew up at Falcon Children's Home. And if what I was saying was touching him, God must be in this thing. And so as I got to Falcon, one night I was coming back with some kids from a Christmas party there at Falcon. When I got there, there was only 18 children there. Today we have 90 children at Falcon Children's Home. We have another children's home in Tuberville, South Carolina. We have a home for mothers and babies. We have a maternity home. We license foster homes. And 2 years ago, we started the only licensed home for girls 21 and under caught up in sex trafficking. But as I was walking back with that little girl and that little brother of hers that night after that Christmas party, wasn't sure this is exactly where God wanted me to be. That little girl reached up and grabbed my hand. And I knew a little bit about her story. She was taking care of her little brother and sister. She was only 7 years old. They were locked in the back of a house while their mother and father did lines of cocaine. And she became like a parent to them. And she reached up and squeezed my hand. And she said, Mr. Joey, this has been the best Christmas I've ever had. And I thought to myself, you're in a strange place, away from your mother and father. But this is the best Christmas you've ever had. And I realized Falcon is a special place. I accept this honor today, and I'm humbled by this honor. But I really wish I could give it to every child who's gone through a difficult time, who's gone through the doors of Falcon Children's Home, whose lives have been changed, just like Emmanuel College changed my life. And I appreciate that. The best Christmas you've ever had. I remember looking up into the sky that night and saying, the best Christmas she's ever had. It was as if the heavens had opened up, and I realized that Falcon could be an oasis in the desert. It could reach children who had difficulties finding safety and finding belonging. And so today I say to you very humbly, thank you for this award. There's so many more people more deserving of it, but I'm so humbled by this. And I want to say a big thank you to Dr. Stewart and Dr. White, who worked with me when I was a student here. Dr. White, I was scared of you when you were Dean of Students. I never told you that. One last story real quick, and I know you're ready for me to end, but I do want to share this. Ed Henson. Yeah. I was his favorite student, by the way. And by the way, if you ever have a Buzzards Hall of Fame, I want to be in that. I was a captain of the Buzzards for 2 years. So if you ever have a Buzzards Hall of Fame. But one day we were playing an intramural football game, and I was about to score, and this guy grabbed my flag and started dancing around with my flag. Well, Coach Bond, I had a little bit of a temper back then. So I took that football and drilled him in the back of the head. In the name of the Lord, mind you, but I drilled him in the back of the head. And, of course, Mr. Henson came and got to me, and I went back to my room. And he came up to my room and sat on my bed. And he said, Joey? I said, yes, sir, Mr. Henson. And you've got a little bit of a temper. I said, no, sir. It's called competitive edge. He said, no, sir. You remind me of me when I was younger. That's a temper. He said, but show me a man that doesn't have temper, and I'll show you a man that don't have drive. But you've got to learn to control that temper, or it will control you. That's the kind of wisdom that the faculty and the staff and the leadership give the students here at Emmanuel College. I am humbled beyond measure. I am blown away by this award. I want to again say thank you to everyone here today, and to Emmanuel College specifically. You have blessed me. God bless you, and let's continue supporting Emmanuel College.
Thank you for honoring Joey in that way. Thank you for those marks as well, and thank you for what you do. As Brian's coming to give you final instructions, I just want to make a few really brief closing remarks. First of all, I wanted to explain that in recognition for the generous contribution that the Falcon Children's Home Board exercised in giving to Emmanuel back our debt. So basically when we pay on that debt, it comes back to us. It's basically debt forgiveness, and we really appreciate it. In honor of that, we have set up a program where any student that goes through Falcon Children's Home and would like to come to Emmanuel University has the ability to be covered in full when they come to Emmanuel. And so we're glad to do that. Because we've certainly learned that the earlier we can reach young people, the better chance we have of directing them to Christ and them finding Him. So we want to finish what you started at Falcon by allowing them to come here and be discipled. So we're excited about that. And then I think you've probably seen it around campus. One of our taglines is Emmanuel University, where we meet God together. So as we leave today, I just have a challenge for all of us for the things you've heard. You know what we're about. You know what we're trying to do. But we certainly can't do it without you. And yes, we need financial resources. We appreciate all the contributions. But most of all, we need your prayers. We need you to be engaged with us. Send us students that we can reach and disciple for Christ. And my challenge is, Emmanuel University, let's follow God together. Thank you.